What's going on, YouTube? It's Donnie all day. So, I'm bringing you a knife to review. But this one's a little bit different as far as the review is concerned because this one was sent to me by my man, Billy Mounce. And Billy, this is his knife, right? And it is a very, very used knife. You can see a lot of the coloration there, some of that black coming off. This knife is an just a used knife. I mean, this is his user. So I can't really judge it the way I normally would as far as like a brand new edge and how it comes out of the box and this and that. But we can still judge it. Now, when it came to me, I would hit the button and it popped open. It was switchblade in effect, but it was a little bit slow feeling or a little sluggish. I threw a little bit of oil in there and blew out some dust. This thing is popping open like crazy now. I mean, that's really nice. I have to say, as soon as I put it in my hand, I almost thought this must be a fake because it is a freaking sturdy knife. Like, you feel like it is a stone. Why I thought, I was like, no, wait, this can be real. The scales are aluminum. The frame is aluminum. And not only that, and it's kind of hard to see because there's no light in there, but it's slotted aluminum. So you'd think that it would be really, really light feeling. But the blade is just such a big, beefy blade, and you have some really good components on the inside. And that's what creates the weight. So while the handle, if you took off like the blade and the stop pin and all the pivots and all that, then I'm assuming this would feel pretty light, but I'm not going to take it apart. But it feels like a knife in the hand. And before we even get into it, he also sent me a couple other things. One of the things was this Kershaw fixed blade that he's had for a long time. Now, you look at it and you're thinking, okay, he didn't send me this to review. He sent me this to fix. You can't tell, but this was a completely broken off tip. The tip came, I'm assuming, through here and then had a long clip. And so I repaired it for him and I gave it a new edge. And it is now nice and sharp. And you would pick this knife up and never assume that it had a broken tip. It looks beautiful, man. This thing came out right. So, Billy, your knife is fixed. Your knife is fixed. I'll be sending that to you pretty soon. But let's get into this guy. So these on Blade HQ. Damn, cat's always knocking stuff down. I went from that dog of mine to that cat of mine. All right, so these retailed for about $230, and on Blade HQ they're going for $207.95, and they have different options. I am not a big serration fan, but they do have a plain edge version, which I think is really nice, and then they have a Tonto version where you can get it plain or serrated just the same. The mock-up and the open is really, really nice. We are looking at an overall length of 8.6 inches. Polarized lenses. Just take them down. 8.625 inches. Blade length of 3.625 inches. A cutting edge of 3.5 inches. A blade thickness of 0.13 inches. The blade material is CPM S30V. It is a drop point. And it's really, really nice drop point. And it is flat grind, my favorite. It is black, partially serrated, 5 inches in the grip, really, really nice. The handle thickness is 0.59 inches, aluminum with aluminum liner. And let's see. It's auto, obviously, push button, obviously. And it does have an oversized push button. And I put it in my pocket to see, and it's USA made. I put it in my pocket to see, because it has an oversized, if it would accidentally open at all just from general use or general wear. I didn't have any issues with that. It does have a lock, which I'm no fan of. If your knife is made well, what do you need a lock for? I don't know. People, they put them in, and it's like, ooh, look, we have a lock. So it's like, ooh, a sales point, but it's really unnecessary. They do add some groove lines in here that is for the grip, and what that really does, it's not going to offer you any real additional grip. For a right-handed person, it's going to do better than if you're a lefty, because you can actually feel the grooves with your fingers, and I guess it would be harder to push out, but one of the good things it's going to do, it's going to work these little channels to avert sweat and wetness. So that's a good thing. It's beastly, man. It really is. This spacer in the rear acts as not just a lanyard hole and not just a spacer, but also a glass break, skull break, which is pretty good. It's got a nice big fat 3-screw pocket clip, which is cool. Just straight out of the box, I like it. I think it's pretty good. The double ramps I've never been a fan of like that, unless you have a wider blade. But I have to say that when I put my hand in the forward position and I use my thumb on that, it's jimped really nicely on this part, not this part. That feels really good. And the reason they don't jimp it on this part is because that's going to be your main grip, and it's going to keep you from getting wear on your fingers. So it's done very, very well. Speaking of well, the double finger wells for the individuals, and then the 2-finger well here, great. Just great in the hand. Feels really good. I think Gerber did a really, really nice job on this design, but does it work? Now, what can we use it for, since I don't have a fresh edge on this? I don't know. We can't obviously try that. We'll try a push cut, things like that, and we'll see if it actually held enough of an edge. And I don't know what he's done to the edge. I literally, when I got it in, I just put it against a whetstone, just to make it a serviceable edge. So we'll see how that goes. Let's take it outside. I was not ready for how windy it is out here. It's blowing. Man, that blows. But let's get it. We got a nice sunshiny day today, so let's get it here in the sun. Now, remember, it is used, so it's going to look way better than that. But I mean, it's not bad. It's not bad. So right away, I got a stick right here, and we are going to see if we can't. It's nice and dry and brittle, so we're going to see if we can't make some nice curls with this guy. And what we're going to do, I'm a lefty, so the problem with serrations is the way they're ground primarily for a right-handed person, not a lefty. So when a lefty uses them, it's going to be, look at that, beautiful though, it's going to use slightly differently than it would for a right-handed person. I'll tell you what, this dried out stuff, you could light a fire without any accelerant. So I can see how it works there. Now I want to bring it to the right hand, which for me is awkward, I'm not gonna lie to you. But let's see. Let's see if I can get it going here. I'm having more trouble going righty with this thing, although because I'm lefty, than lefty. So I have to say that feathering is going to be better, probably going opposite hand. It seems like it's going to be a good cutter. There we go. All right, so with the right, I find that if I give it a swoop instead of a pull, it's good. Lefty, let's see if the swoop will work. Let's see. Yeah, see, I don't know. For some reason, this thing is really making some nice, fine stuff too. This is so easy to light. That stuff is really easy to light. But you can see that. So let's try with the plain edge, and it's going to give us pretty much the same effect. It was making more like shredded stuff with the, look at that, that's really nice, with the serrations, but the flat gives us those nice curls, so those would actually burn a little bit longer than the other stuff. The other stuff would just help it ignite. That's pretty good. So let's see here. let's see, I got enough grip right here to where we should be able to get a little chop action with this, which isn't bad. Which isn't bad at all. So doing this, if I was going to burn, now I take this, and because of all those little flares and everything, this right here is going to burn a lot faster than this. So this would actually catch fire really, really easily. So now let's see, if I push hard with the serrations lefty, I got some curls there. Now let's try pushing hard with the serrations right. Oh yeah, see, that's way different. That's way different going righty. Okay, see, that's what it's made for. But I'm a lefty, so it's definitely going to be different for guys like me, for lefties, for guys like us, than it is going to be for a right-handed person. And that's one thing I hate about serrations like this, is when you have any kind of chisel grind where you're grinding one side of the blade only, it's always going to be more for a right-handed user than it is for a left-handed user, because the majority of the people obviously are right-handed. So that's why. We're not going to whine about that's not fair, because we're not snowflakes. All right, so let's get this thing over to the stump. Try not to have you guys blow the man down. All right, so let's get that there. Let's do a couple of 4-foot gravity drops. See how that bite goes just initially from a gravity drop. How that swedge tip is. Not so bad. Couple of hard downwards. It didn't close. Oh, wow, that got in there. Didn't close accidentally. Bam. And it has some bite. It's got some crazy bite. All right, so that's not so bad. Let's give it a push cut with the nylon rope and see if the edge that I put on there is definitely serviceable. It got through most of it on just a push cut. A little saw action would have helped it out even more. But seeing as how I have the ability to grab this thing down low, I wonder if we can actually get a extension cord chop with this thing. Let's see. Oh, that worked out pretty good. That got through most of it. Let's try again. Wow, so you can see that did pretty good. That did pretty good for a chop like that. Let's see. Let's see how that reworked edge is going to handle the leather. Uh-oh. Man, it is windy. All right. Maybe D-Bad did a little job on that leather here. Let's see. I'm starting to fold. There we go. Look at that. I'm not right at that little hole is making it very difficult, but it is absolutely shaving the leather, no problem. So that's not so bad. In the hand, it just has really nice flow. It moves around well. I should really probably glue this thing. I'm always popping this leg out, but I think I bet brand new, this thing was crazy out of the box. Let's see here. Well, let's see here. Billy, if I break it, I owe you one. I owe you one, Billy. Let me see if I can. Here we go. If I break it, I owe you one, Billy. Oh, Billy, I'm close to owing you one. I gotta back up a little. Oh, that was on the tip. That was on the tip. Damn hardwood. It's hard. All right, but banging it around, no loosening. Oh, freaking locks. See, this is why I hate locks. I went to push the button, nothing. Still snappy after banging it against the door a couple times. Can it take a little bit of abuse? It can. Billy almost got a brand new one. I had enough faith, I'm not gonna lie to you. If I didn't have faith in the knife, no way in hell I would have done that. No way in hell. But this thing's not so bad, man. It is not so bad. So what I want to do Let's take a stick and just see if we can't get through it sideways. And see if we can't do that. Let's see if I can bring you guys to a good level here. All right, so I'm going to use this stick, I'm going to use this knife, and I'm going to use this piece of wood. Not so bad, not so bad. Let's go the other direction here. Not so bad. Now we switch again. This is how you save your knife without just slamming it with a baton if you got to cut something and you only have a smaller knife on you. Perfect. Still no rattle, still no loosening. Gotta say, that there is pretty good. That there is pretty good. So if you've been looking at the 06s from Gerber, I'm not gonna lie to you, you might have been looking at a pretty good knife. If you've been wondering, did Gerber make a $200 knife? Yeah. I mean, I can see why they're charging that. Materials alone are expensive, labor's expensive. The more, every time, here's the thing, when you make a knife in the US, it's expensive. You're just gonna get some, you're gonna have some costs. It's gonna be charged. So everybody's always complaining, oh, but I want my blade US made, blah blah blah. But then they complain that the knife costs so much. If you want a knife for $100 that's built just like this, get one made in China. It's just the way to go. But if you want an American made knife, be prepared to pay an American made price. We have to pay employees more than they do in other countries, and that's why we're so expensive. But are you going to get a knife that's going to hold up $200 worth? This thing looks like it's been through hell. And I can say without a doubt, I mean, it's pretty sturdy, man. It is pretty sturdy. This is nice. So, Billy, I'm going to send this back to you with your Kershaw, and I got that other knife for you. So, here it comes, baby. Well, that's it for this one. Hi, I'm Donnie B all day. Until next knife.